Oh my God. Oh my God. I just talked for so long and wasn't recording. Oh no. It was so convoluted. Um, Welcome, my beautiful people of Earth, to the third episode of Brain Cancer versus Graphic Novel. If you're new to this, if this is your first one, what this means is I recently got myself some brain cancer, and it's a brutal form of it. And I'm working on a graphic novel that has about 3 years left on it of work. And I'm racing my mortality to get it done. So I appreciate you joining me on the journey. I'm going to try, it's a dark concept for a video series. I'm going to try to not present on video when I have symptoms that are creepy or, anyway. My point is, if this is too dark for you, watch something else. There's tons of other fun stuff on YouTube, or take a walk, or whatever. Um, Also, I'm not an expert in any of the things I'm dealing with. I barely understand it, so please don't think of me as an educational source, or I'm more than willing to answer any questions I can. So please leave comments for that. And I keep forgetting to beg you to like and subscribe because I want Leopold Brink, which is the graphic novel. I want it to be bigger than Harry Potter. So let's do that. Okay, a quick statement on my opening line of welcome, beautiful people of Earth, the beautiful part. There's a superpower that visual artists, I think any kind of visual artist has, where we see beauty in everything, especially human faces. And, I've drawn thousands and thousands and thousands of faces, and every time, first of all, it's the most fun thing to draw, but it's intimate, it's super emotional. I get so much out of it, and I, I've never seen a human face that I don't find absolutely gorgeous. So, it sounds like I'm bullshitting you, but I really mean it. Like, and this phenomenon, like when you're hanging out, whether you're like dating somebody or just friends or whatever, the longer you hang out with someone, the more their face becomes appealing and even beautiful or whatever. We start with that power. It's super fun. Oh, and another thing, no one's born a visual artist. All of you can be artists. It does take an enormous amount of work and dedication and time, and blah, blah, blah. And, some may have a kind of brain that helps the process, but there's no barrier to this skill set other than an enormous amount of work and time. But something about that theme of beauty and stuff, I want to tell you about the last gig I had. I owned a kind of little boutique design firm, and my clients, I had one main client. I used to consult for major litigation, which sounds bizarre, but it was mostly patent cases, and I would join the war room, what they call, and help the other lawyers shape the narrative that they were going to present to the jury and judge, and any visuals that were involved in the case. And with patent stuff, there was tons. I would design those, or my subcontractors would. Mostly me. I did it mostly solo. It was an enormous amount of work, but it was so fun, such a challenge. It was such a cool gathering of all the things I'd done and were into. I miss it a lot. The reason I don't do it anymore is you can't say no to cases. Lawyers justify their involvement in tricky cases because they say they believe in the law and etc. And they're right, but and you do have to give everybody a fair shot. But when you're defending someone who is just the worst, I'm not really talking about an individual. I'm talking about a corporation in this case. I won't mention which one. But I said no, and they just stopped calling me, and I get it. But I mentioned in another video that I'm shit at business, so I didn't hustle. I didn't, I could have gone on, but it just petered out. I do miss it though. It was so fun. I think they made a TV show called Bull, which is like the ludicrous version of what I did. So if you find that or you're curious, it's as weird as it sounds and rare as it sounds. There are not a lot of us. A lot of people do anyway. I bring that up because I spent my entire life in the field of visual judgment, and that plus my ethics stuff really has taught me that humans suck at this. We've made the worst decisions in our civilization based on judging things by how they look. The examples are obvious, race. But I bring that up because after Leopold Brink 3 came out and the series was prematurely ended because of my incompetence at business and terrible sales and whatever. I desperately miss doing it, so I instantly transformed Leopold Brink into a overtly educational comic book series. Here was the first prototype. You could see my main theme was this. And here was the plan for the next several. I did 3 of them. I would call them prototypes because they're not really that polished. But I submitted the first one to the top 100 districts in the country, and Canada, and they all accepted. They said, like, okay, you're approved to sell to schools now, except for 2 states, 2 districts in 2 different states. I won't mention the states, but this scene was the reasoning given for a no from one. They said they had a problem with P being mentioned. The other one, far more frustrating and infuriating for me, was I'll do a close-up of what they must have seen to get this reaction. They said, we can't associate non-human, like apes, and dark-skinned people. That's a horrible racist thing to do. And I'm like, first of all, Brink's skin is darkish, but it's beautiful. And she's half Jew, half bonobo. And in no way is there an association with anything other than that in what goes on in the comic or anything. So frustrating. I get the sensitivity, and of course that's verboten. Don't ever fucking do that. But Brink is Brink, so it just was like disgusting. Anyway, I'm gonna say that was Texas. Okay, so I won't say what district in Texas, but actually it's weird because like it's a kind of sensitive thing for them, like an empathetic thing for them to say they're just being ridiculous, but that might sound contradictory. Anyway, my judgment. Okay, so I got a fun, weird call about the series from a 90s marketing guru named Seth Godin. I don't know how I did instantly buy StudyLab.com, which of course I still own. And StudyLab means study with Leopold and Brink. And he called me and he said, like, I think this is a genius idea, but even I can't figure out how to sell it. And I was like, oh, no wonder. Fuck. Oh, because my plan was to sell it to school districts, which is, you'd sell thousands plus at a time, but they don't buy supplemental material. So I had to go school to school, which was just daunting and just way beyond my skill set / energy. So, that nothing came of that either. I did get on the curriculum in Regina, Saskatchewan. So, one class got a study lab lesson. Okay, and so I gotta spend a moment on race because I did test the prototype with some middle school students. I saw all the stuff for kind of middle school age, but any age works. And the most frustrating, they dug it enough. Having comics in school is never a bad thing, but they just didn't get that culture and race are not synonyms. So many of us treat it like that, and it drives me up a fucking wall. One is a rich, beautiful, amazing, cumulative, beautiful collection of activities, and culture is amazing, and it can refer to a group that looks like one another, but race is a construct that is like dragons, and it's just nonsense, fantastical assholery by the worst of us. Thank you. I'm looking at you, England and the Netherlands. that has just destroyed our civilization. We let alone the unbelievable amount of pain it's caused some cultures. But this is it's an incredibly difficult topic. So like I'm not trying to do a talk on it or anything, but it was a real focus of mine because of this visual judgment thing, right? I drives me crazy. Everyone, please get better at visual judgment if you're going to use visual judgment. It's not that hard. Okay. Oh, another fun little thing to lighten the mood about Study Lab. I don't know why I had it on me, but I was on Third Street Promenade in Santa Monica. By the way, I'm in Los Angeles, if anyone's curious. Um, and I bump into Steven Spielberg. He's like there, and by bump into, I mean I see him, and then I rush towards him, and I try to hand him Study Lab, and he gets a glance at it, and he's like, "Oh, this looks really nice, but my lawyers will not let me touch stuff from people." And I'm like, "I understand. I'm sorry." Blah blah blah. And then I start crying. No, I don't. But I'll tell that crying story another time because if I burst out into tears at some point, when I was in the hospital, I sobbed constantly, and it was joyous sobbing. Thank goodness. Mainly because I'd been desperate for maternal love, let alone attention, my whole life. And when I was in the ICU, the nurses were just so sweet and caring. I mean, anyway, that kicked it off. And then I had been estranged from the family that took care of me most of my life. And they got in touch, and love was just pouring in. And I was just like, oh my God, it was hilarious, really. But yeah, what a perfect segue, because guess what, guys? The first Leopold and Brink movies has been released. I don't mean that literally. Obviously, there's not a movie out now called Leopold and Brink. But on Saturday, my wonderful angel baby sister took me to see the latest Indiana Jones. And spoilers? Not spoilers. It's a fucking Leopold and Brink movie. It played out almost exactly like the first draft of my novel. All you do is swap out Archimedes for Protagoras, that philosopher that I named my company after, and it was so weird. It was so gratifying and funny and weird, but like it was cool to see like, oh, the Leopold and Brink model works because of course I was 11 when Indiana Jones came out, so I was obsessive. And about that, tragically in 1977, all the other boys wanted to be Han Solo, and I was Luke Skywalker, so like I just couldn't make the leap. I recognize Han as fucking awesome. But then in 1981, I was 11, puberty was, I guess, coming up, and I see Indiana Jones, and I'm like, oh my God, this is exactly who I want to be. A nerd superhero. And then a particular scene in that film, when Marion smashes him in the face with that mirror on the boat, and he's already beat to shit from all the stuff he's gone through in the film so far, and then she, does the nurse routine and beautifully nurtures him. That scene was just like locked in my psychological need bank my whole life. And then, oh shit, that is a spoiler. I won't mention it. But I had just drawn that scene because of its significance in my layouts. The day that we then went to see the film. Shit, this video is going really long. I'm so sorry. I was gonna talk more about like my situation, like what the hell I have and what does it mean, and maybe some hospital stuff. And I'm so sorry. One of my soccer friends I play with on Sunday mornings, which I did this Sunday. I actually played an entire game in this state. And by play, I meant I walked around the field and kicked the ball occasionally. But one of my buddies in that group, super sweet guy. I hate jump cuts so much. I'm so sorry. The bloopers are fun. So that happened. Um, okay, so my my soccer friend said he bought off eBay, even though I instructed all of you not to do Leopold and Brink 1, 2, and 3, because he was like, I don't know what Leopold and Brink is about. I bought it because I wanted to find that out. So I was gonna, um, you know, I hope without spoiling it too much, tell you the story of Leopold Brink. Um, but again, this video has gone way too long, and that utter production disaster probably is a good indicator that I should get the fuck out. Thank you again for joining. I did notice I cursed more than usual, I think, but I still haven't done one of my unique curses, which, bummer for you guys. I don't sense doing it because it's usually a reaction to me having a comical argument with my sister. Okay, so thank you again for joining. Please make Leopold Brink more popular than everything in the world. I highly recommend you go see Barbie. It's a fucking masterpiece. Also, Indiana Jones was amazing. Seeing Karen Allen made me cry. And, by the way, Karen Allen, if you're single, so am I. I will see you guys next time. Thank you again. Later.